We're about to get started. So, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. That's for your support that we can continue to do these type of fun educational type things. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lewis. He's going to be speaking today about some new technologies, TypeScript. Real exciting new technologies. Who here has heard of TypeScript? Most of you guys. Anyone know TypeScript? Like used it before? So hopefully we'll give you a good overview of that.
So yeah, so today's tech talk is TypeScript. So my name is Sangwook Louis, aka Louis, and as you guys know, I recently worked on the LBI pizza rating system using TypeScript and AngularJS. So all the source code is my private Git repository, and you can check out the website Louis 3000. But while I was working on this website, I found some major benefits of using TypeScript. So what is TypeScript? TypeScript is a programming language, and it's made by Microsoft, and it's also open source. And TypeScript is a set of tools to generate JavaScript files. So what that means is that, let's take a look at this example. So we have a TypeScript example file, player ID, player name, active flag, and the compiler compiles to the JavaScript file. So this is what it looks like, to generate the JavaScript file. So this is TypeScript, the main idea. The first major benefit of using TypeScript is strong typing. Because of the strong typing, it's really easy to find spot errors. So let's take a look at this JavaScript code again. So there is a player ID, and the number 1 is assigned to player ID. But later on, you can change to string or boolean or functions, right? This is vanilla JavaScript syntax. But in TypeScript, that is all impossible. Once you define player ID as a number, you cannot assign to the string, just like Java. So this is the first benefit of using TypeScript. And also, there is a syntax, IntelliSense syntax, that it shows the red line under the code. So you know there's an error as you type, as you code.
Is that part of the IDE, or to get those compiler warnings?
Yes, it's player ID, right?
Well, is that part of the IDE, like Eclipse does?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can use like Visual Code.
Right. For the second part, TypeScript is object-oriented. So meaning that it supports private members, abstract class, inheritance, everything. So let's take a look at this example again. So we have a player class, and there are variables like last name, first name. Also, there's a constructor, and also there's the function. It returns the last name and first name. And now we make a player class with two variables, two parameters, last name, first name. And just like we defined the function here, we get the name with a function. However, we cannot assign the string value to last name. It's because last name is initiated with a private member. So that's the one benefit. Also, note the cool thing here is that the instance player type is player, and also there's an interface. So if we declare interface iPlayer, and with the two parameters, two variables, last name, first name, if class player implements iPlayer, the class player has to have those two parameters, those two variables, just like interface. So that's the second benefit. The last one that I found, the main benefit is it's really easy to learn. So familiarity, right? There's a CoffeeScript. So CoffeeScript is also very popular compile transcript language, just like TypeScript. But let's take a look at this syntax. As you see, commenting line is slightly different. Also, if statement is slightly different, and declaring object is slightly different than JavaScript. But compared to TypeScript, those variables are exactly the same way we use in vanilla JavaScript. So you don't have to learn additional language for the TypeScript. So if you know JavaScript, you already know TypeScript. That's the main benefit of TypeScript. So also I mentioned here a lot of references here. If you are interested, we can take a look at those examples. And maybe next time if I have a chance, maybe I can talk about the bad parts of using TypeScript that I experienced while I was working on my LVIP rating system. So that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys. Any questions about TypeScript?
Is it a compiled language?
Yes.
So how do you compile it? Like, what's the process?
So just like Java, so you make compiler options. You give a compiler options, and you install TypeScript through Node.js npm package, and then you run just like Java C, and you run the command tsc, and then it generates compiled JavaScript language from TypeScript files. So that's the main goal.
What does it integrate with? Like Maven, something else, Grunt?
So TypeScript is for front end. So I believe there is no Maven support, but most of big companies like Google or Microsoft, Facebook start using TypeScript. It's because TypeScript supports TypeScript is object-oriented language. It's really good to work on the team project because it shows the error, so it's easy to spot errors. Finding bug is easy, and object-oriented language, so you can use all the benefits of object-oriented language. So that's the main part. That's the main goal, main benefits.
Yeah, they transpile it to like ES2050.
Yeah, right. So TypeScript also supports ES6 by default. So if you know ES6 syntax, JavaScript syntax, it's really easy. It's just let's go back real quick. All you need to do is just define the type here. Yeah. And first, yeah.
So like you compile this to JavaScript, and then the JavaScript is what would get like, deployed onto the server, right? So like if there's an error, like in production or whatever, it's going to tell you like the line number of the JavaScript file, and how would you say like, okay, I have error in this JavaScript file on this part, and how would you get back to like the original TypeScript source and like know exactly where the error came from?
Right. First of all, if there's an error in JavaScript file, it already tells in TypeScript file. So you probably know the exact file that caused the error.
Right, but not like a type error or anything.
Like a runtime error.
There's usually some type of mapping. Because our current project is ES6, which gets mapped down to ES5.
Yeah.
And if you have the maps in place, when you click on the error line, it'll take you to the file. So there's a mapping between the compiled file and like your source files.
Yeah, like that's JavaScript to JavaScript though. Like, do you think it would still work with like?
Well, it's the same idea. TypeScript gets compiled down to JavaScript, but ES6 gets compiled down to the same equivalent.
Yeah. Also, there's a compiler options, so you can export as ES5 or ES6. So it's all your choices. You can customize the JavaScript file with a TypeScript compiler. Yes.
Do we use this now in any projects, and is there any plans to use it for any future ones?
I don't know, but this is just I want to tell how awesome TypeScript is, and hopefully we can use it, because I found many benefits of using TypeScript for team project. So that's why I want to do this tech talk.
So we're not currently using it, but maybe the next iteration of our framework.
For the object-oriented part of TypeScript, is that just like your standard, like Java, like inheritance and stuff? Or does it support multiple inheritance, or is there any difference between your standard inheritance or?
So most of codes are very similar to Java. Most object-oriented language. So if you can do the same thing in TypeScript when you do it in Java. So let's say interface, you can do interface in Java, but you can also do interface in TypeScript.
Right.
I would have to guess that this supports multiple inheritance considering it's by Microsoft. Microsoft usually allows for stuff like that.
Got it. Cool.
And you said you're gonna maybe do next time, like, the bad parts.
The bad parts, yes.
Just what's the number one bad part?
Number one bad parts. The compiler option, right? The compiler option is there are too many compiler options. Maybe I'm confused and also, so right now, like for example, right now this is string type, right? But you can put any. So then meaning that it can be number, string, boolean, everything, right? But you can prohibit the kind of behavior by compiler option. So if people have different compiler options, that causes an error. So the compiler option is one big problem for me. And another problem is that using external libraries. So sometimes external libraries don't have a TypeScript support. So, but most of big third-party libraries support TypeScript, but a few like minor libraries doesn't support TypeScript. So you might end up to write your own interface for the third-party library.
Is there just one compiler by Microsoft, or are there others?
Just one. I believe just one.
Okay.
But it's all open source, so you can customize that too.
And it's multi-platform?
Yes. And Angular 2 also supports using TypeScript.
Sure, right. I think Angular 2 supports only TypeScript, right?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
So on the right box there, you have player last name is oops, and it gives an error, right?
Mm-hmm.
So TypeScript won't allow you to compile this into JavaScript then, right?
Right.
So, but if that were in JavaScript, it would still be valid JavaScript.
Yes.
So say if you were to compile something without errors in TypeScript, is there some like overarching like library that also gets compiled into JavaScript that prevents you from making these sorts of assignments? Like say if you tried to do whatever the equivalent of play last name equals oops in the JavaScript file after it's been compiled, is there some TypeScript library that will kind of catch that when you try to run
the compiler will catch every errors.
You're saying after it's compiled?
After it's compiled.
I mean, that's like a hack.
I
guess
yeah, you cannot compile. First of all, you cannot compile. The compiler shows error just like Java errors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it doesn't compile the JavaScript. But if it does, by changing your compiler options, that will be fine, I think.
No, he's saying at runtime, say you go into the browser console, and
you
you have
can-
that object.
Or if you just modify the JavaScript file after it's been.
Yeah, that is possible too. Yes,
Okay.
but that is not encouraging.
Yeah.
Because
But there
obviously
probably
you're
aren't.
defeating the purpose. Right?
Probably aren't any libraries like that because, like, I don't think anybody would be doing that on purpose unless they're hacking.
Yeah, right.
You know.
So
I'm curious. So this gets compiled down to JavaScript. Is there any plans so this doesn't have to be compiled down? So like a native browser can run TypeScript?
no, I don't think this TypeScript is just trans-compiled language. So meaning people who have an OCD for JavaScript may have to.
That's true.
Thanks for coming for today's lecture.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We have put a forum together to get some more input from you guys. If anyone here would like to do tech talk, or you guys want to hear more tech talks about different technologies, we'll send out that link later. I'll post a link to where this is located if you guys want to take a look. He's got some resources on there if you guys want to play around with some stuff. Thanks for coming, and we wish you did a great job.
Thank you.